Welcome back to the PCS Summer Split as we showcase the debut of Impunity from Singapore coming up against Alpha Esports and other Taiwanese organizations. Before we go into more in-depth detail about the matchup, first off, we have to thank our sponsors, CTBC Bank, China Airlines, and Zhonghua Telecom for making the PCS what it is today. And of course, our organizers, Riot Games, Garena, and Carry Live Co. for the production and all of the logistics for this league to happen. Now, onto the real meat of the discussion. We have the 6th place team against the 9th place team in Spring Split, going head-to-head with some really interesting roster changes coming up in this match.
Yeah, Imperial or Impunity and Alpha both going into a couple of changes here. For the side of Alpha, they've brought in 2 brand new players. They brought in Xiaotu and Sheng. Xiaotu will be going into that mid lane, Sheng going into the bot lane with on. Neither of these players have any prior experience, so this is going to be a very, very interesting game, at least seeing what they have to offer to the team. And over on the flip side, for the side of Impunity, they've brought in Epic over from the Boom roster. That should add an extra layer of aggression to this team. And then they've also added Moonblack. And I know one of the issues coming into from last split was how are they going to amp up this mid-jungle duo, because they were a little bit lacking in the aggression in that part.
Definitely. I would say Impunity kept the strongest parts of their rosters together. Top King was a standout performer, had a lot of solo kills, and Blaze for me was probably the best player on Impunity overall. Plus Smurv was kind of your X factor coming in with those hooks on his Thresh. Mid jungle was a bit of a weak spot, really didn't hold its own against most of the top tier mid jungles elsewhere in the LPL. In the PCS. Not a lot of our mid jungles hold a lot up to the LPL mid jungles, to be honest. But Epic and Moonblack, these guys are experienced. Epic had a fairly decent split on Boom Esports, had a couple carry performances, especially on the Trundle. And Moonblack is coming back from a 2021 hiatus. We haven't really seen him in Spring Split whatsoever, so it's kind of a question mark on what his performance is going to be like. But we all know and love him as the guy that plays fiddlesticks in mid lane. So we'll see how that works out. On the other side, we have Alpha Esports. This time, they are importing a Singaporean player in their mid lane in Xiaotu. They still have K-Babe, that's how the team pronounces his name, and 3Z in the top lane with a drastically different hairdo. He looks much more like a businessman with this hairdo. And then, of course, Anne and Sheng in the bottom side. So Alpha Esports, once again, one of the most experienced rosters with 3Z and On, and also they had Apex last split, but unfortunately not really showing that veterancy status, and the other 2 players that were connecting from overseas had very unstable connections. So this was a team that a lot of people felt like they had a lot of promises and then fell completely flat on their faces and ended up outside of the playoffs. So we definitely expect players like 3Z and On, who have been to Worlds, who have been in top, I'd say top 10 rosters out of the entire world, definitely be able to pull up more than just the 9th place in the PCS.
Yeah, definitely not living up to the namesake for their team. And coming into this split with these new players, there might be a little bit of growing pain, which could be an issue coming in, at least starting off. We'll see how it ends up playing out here with the new names. But going into ban pick for Impunity, like Moonblack, not known for his lane dominance, but what he is really good at is playing weak side, and being able to pair up with his jungler and roam around, make plays. His most played is the Lulu in that mid lane. Also, in addition to the fiddlesticks you mentioned, does enjoy playing Heimerdinger when it is a good spot. I don't think Heimerdinger offers a whole lot in this current meta, but in future metas, you never know.
Yeah, I play a lot of Heimerdinger, just in TFT, not in real game, but
he's very strong in TFT.
Incredibly champion, really. I really like that champion. But into the draft we go, as we see a pretty classical trade right here. Viego being locked in for Impunity. Can go in 3 positions as we've seen today. A bit weaker in the mid lane right now. And Alpha Esports, I love this. Going for this super strong Lee picks, LeBlanc and Lee Sin, just making sure they get the best of the mid jungle.
Yeah, this is a very strong mid-jungle duo if they want to throw the Lee Sin into the jungle. Also, just a very strong top side or solid top side for Impunity. Okay, they go through a couple of AD carry hovers. We'll see if they do end up locking in here. I do feel like it makes a lot of sense for them to save their solo lanes for that second phase. Just give them a lot of opportunity, as Blaze apparently wasn't speaking into his mic very well there.
And we are going to get the Ezreal versus Varus matchup. Seen this a couple times before already today. Varus does have a bit more of that early game pressure, as we have seen. And I wonder if this is going to be a meta that serves Blaze well. His best champion was Kai'Sa. As we all know, Kai'Sa has really fallen off the wagon at this point. So the Ezreal, I hope it's going to provide enough damage for Impunity going forward. Alpha Esports just banning out the Lissandra. Pretty standard bans to make sure that LeBlanc is going to have the best time ever. And, you know, I think it's really interesting here. I wonder if Impunity are familiar with Xiaotu, because Xiaotu is Singaporean. So my guess is that Impunity probably do know this player quite well.
Yeah, it's very possible they've seen him over on the ladder and just know his champ pool. That would be really cool. And they go ahead and take away the Gwen in as well, away from Impunity. So Top King, his options are a little bit more limited, but one of Top King's best champs, we saw in the promotion tournament, was that Vladimir. And what if he just goes mid, you know? Send him mid, take the Vladimir into the LeBlanc, and then we'll get back-to-back Vlad picks.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure that Vlad was like the biggest reason they. Okay, we'll leave game 4 behind. Game 4 behind us. Focus on this one instead. Braum is going to come out. Very strong pick. Gragas, this is a bit of an interesting one. We have seen a lot of Gragas jungles before, and you know, Epic should be able to play this one. And the Heimer, like you mentioned, in mid lane. I actually do not know how good Heimer is right now. I have not seen him, and I feel like Heimer mains are few and far in between.
Yeah, the Heimer into LeBlanc matchup. Okay, so Heimer, he has an alright time in the lane. The issue is once LeBlanc actually gets items, LeBlanc or Heimer never gets a say in how the trades go. The LeBlanc kind of just kills them whenever, and you have to be really, really insane on Heimer to be able to stop those trades from coming through. That being said, offers a lot in some of these team fights if he's able to get all of his turrets down and set up with his ult grenade or whatever ult form he does choose to throw out here. So an interesting comp coming in from Impunity. I don't know how well this comp is going to play out. They have a really strong backline in the Heimerdinger Ezreal, but then it feels really disjointed on how both ends of this comp want to play.
I see Impunity having a really good siege poke mid-game. I'm not mid-game. Core in the Gragas, Heimerdinger, and Ezreal. But I'm not really sure what the other two pieces do in that case. Like, what's Viego's contribution to the comp? I actually just don't know.
Yeah. It's a bit of a disjointed composition for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the Moon Black welcome party. It's like, you know what? We'll go on your ride. We'll hop on the Moon Black train and see where it takes us. Moon Black definitely someone who's known to play a bit outside of the meta. On the other hand, I do understand and I do kind of like Alpha Esports' comp. This is just pure tempo from start to finish. You know, you have the most powerful tempo mid jungle in the meta right now, and your bot lane is also super powerful, can deny engages, you have push here, so a lot of roaming, a lot of picks to be made for Alpha Esports. On the other hand, Impunity, I guess it's a wait and see. Let's see what they do with this Heimer.
Yeah, for Alpha, they've got so many options left available for them. They can play 1-3-1. The LeBlanc and Set should be relatively unmatched when it comes into these side lanes. The Viego, no matter how strong he is, he's only going to be able to match one of them. Heimer does not match well into the side lanes. He wants to be able to play around his team. And for the side of Alpha, Alpha, they have the option to just plop that Varus into the mid lane and just clear waves very, very easily. So the 1-3-1 option is definitely available, and their siege isn't too bad as well because of the Varus.
Really interesting how this one is going to pan out. We're going to be taking a look at the runes from Moonblack. Very interesting, not going for the Arcane Comet, which is the most typical one you see. Now, I have learned a lot about Heimerdinger because my dear friend Lyric, who cast in the LPL, is actually a Heimer main, which is I don't know what makes a person become a Heimer main. But they do exist. They do exist. And
I played Heimer for a full season. Yeah, I learned that assassins are not fun to play against.
I can definitely see the reasoning for that. Oh, this is an interesting start, though. Double tower on the red buff.
Huh. Okay, this is a really healthy leash coming in because of those double towers, and he's gonna sacrifice a little bit of his lane presence, but that's not an issue just because early levels the LeBlanc isn't going to provide a ton of threat against you. So I like the start coming in, or I like that play coming in from Moonblack. It's just a matter of how familiar is he with this matchup. I imagine there aren't too many Heimer mains to really play against if you are Xiao Tu, so might be a bit of a messy affair when it comes to this mid lane.
Yeah, we're seeing Top King getting out to a really good lead, using that range perfectly. Smurf going up for some trades, tags Shung instead, and it ends up about even on both sides. We do see a bit of healing coming down from both ends right here. It should be Blaze starting with 2 pots compared to the 1 here. In the meantime, Moonblack having some good damage being tagged onto Xiao Tu.
Yeah, and again, this should be a really favorable matchup for Heimerdinger in the lane phase, but once LeBlanc gets that first item, this matchup swings really, really drastically. So it's all about surviving this early portion of the lane, and you know as well that if you're Heimer, you're almost always perma pushing. So if King gets those angles, he can definitely really put a damper on this mid lane by getting an early kill with those ganks.
3Z trying to go in for a big trade, does come out rather far ahead. I love the kind of the hesitation he did right there to use his Facebreaker to hit level 3. Did catch Top King a little bit off guard there, and he will be able to equalize this wave quite well. In the meantime, we see Epic in the topside rush as well. Blaze falling really, really low. Ignite goes down, holds onto the cleanse to get the stun and the Ignite at the same time. Really well done there. K-Babe goes in for the gank. Does land the Q, but it's not going to go for the Q2. Probably does suspect that Epic is right around the corner. Really good Spidey senses right there. And taking a look at the Summoners, none were burned right there. So Moonblack can continue his posturing right in front of Xiao Tu's tower.
Yeah, and really nice pathing coming in from Epic, making sure he is in the proper spot there and in that bot lane. Like, it's just such a dominant trade coming in from this Braum and Varus being able to proc that concussive blows very easily. And now they're actually setting up for a possible dive. So Blaze, Smurf, I don't know if they can get out.
K-Babe is almost dead. He actually just gives over first blood on the tower dive. Impunity with some great acting right there. They do trade 1 for 1, but Moonblack TP's in and picks up a second. That was a tower dive on low health targets that actually turned to disaster. Impunity played like they didn't really know the Lee Sin was there, baited him in, and got great results from that.
Yeah, that was actually wonderfully played here, and it's really just King going a little bit too early or too late there because of where that wave was. Once he goes for the play, wave's already there. He's taking a lot of minion damage in addition to just the sheer damage
in the meantime, mid lane, we see a mid lane trade here. Moonblack does get the better of Xiao2, gets the stun. Can he run away? KB flashes, but misses the Sonic Wave.
Wait, top side.
Great play from Moonblack. What?
Top side, Top King finds the 1v1 out of nowhere.
And he's so healthy, too. I wonder what happened in that trade. That was rather one-sided.
Yeah, that is definitely one-sided. Now, like, Top King hits level 6.
Diego kill you without flash.
All right, here we go. Dip and dodge. All right. And
okay, 3Z still has flash. Still doesn't. Oh, okay. What?
Curious.
All right. That was rather peculiar.
Well, it is what it is, and now this should be really ugly now because level advantage. Yep, it's not a fun time anymore for Set, and that's definitely a very easy point of attack for Epic. If he just goes ahead past top lane, he can just easily force dives onto this Set pretty much non-stop.
I just don't understand why 3Z didn't flash there. He had TP, so it was kind of an auto flash in that case, but just held on to it for some reason. And now this lane is really far gone. We see Sheng trying to get something done in the river. K-Babe coming in. Smurf doesn't have the flash. He is going to be the sacrificial lamb. And we do see Blaze trying to dish out as much damage as possible. He's going to get a really good concave right here. Sheng almost falling down top, being double kill already, going for more as he does get the Heartseeker strike across. And 3Z gone again without using his ultimate. 3Z's just been really off with his gameplay so far. Top King furthering the chase, but misses the W, has to walk back. However, the damage is done. It's already 7-3 in Impunity's favor.
Yeah, Impunity find a beautiful setup for this fight, and I mean, Alpha, they thought they had the catch there, but they don't have the teleport timings, as they don't have teleport on to their LeBlanc, who's really the main threat at this point. It's definitely not the Set, and yeah, Set comes in, and we get reminded of why he's not a threat.
Showstopper wasn't even used right there. He gets pincered, stunned by the grenades coming in from Moonblack. Just gets popped instantly. That's okay. It really goes to show you that mechanics are really important sometimes. You can get a lot more.
No.
K-Babe gonna get Aliud back into Smurf. That was a beautiful play right there, and I don't see K-Babe getting out of this one.
Yeah, they're able to take him down eventually, yes. The cooldown's not... most of it is just front-loaded because of how much burst they have between those two champions. And, well, I think Impunity... we questioned the draft a little bit here, but again, if this composition doesn't really matter a whole lot if you're able to just accumulate a fat amount of stacks. And what do you know? They've got a fat lot of money.
Another solo kill! Heimerdinger! Moonblack with his main able to take his team onto a dominating early game lead. I just don't understand why this Heimer is able to show up in skirmishes faster than LeBlanc and just win all the 2v2s as well. Like, that is not my understanding of Heimerdinger, but Moonblack makes it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like, Xiao2, he still hasn't reached that first item, so he doesn't have the 1v1 pressure to really really force this Heimerdinger to respect him. Also doesn't have the ignite, so Moonblack just says, alright, well, I just kill you every single time, and he's not playing very respectful towards this LeBlanc pick. And boy, what a show we're having here on day number 1. We got the Vladimir pick into the LeBlanc, and then now we've got a Heimerdinger into the LeBlanc, and both seem to be pretty good answers for some odd reason.
Epic is going to face check. Xiaotu misses the distortion, gets the chain though,
doesn't
but
matter.
do they have enough damage? Yes, they do. Epic still goes for it. Looks like he was trying to sacrifice his life to get some kills, but a lot of these members are highly mobile. Alpha Esports goes in for another kill, and that just didn't seem like the correct answer. Blaze is going to get stunned up, going to get second root, misses the flash. Oh, that was painful to watch. I'm not sure what Epic did right there. He actually just kept on charging, which was, I don't know, that was kind of surprising.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, Alpha, they're able to find a couple of the skirmishes here. That's a massive win for them. I don't think they dropped a single member, and Epic, yeah, he spots it and was like, huh, okay. I want this camp anyways, because Moonblack is going to come over, but again, like, if you're Heimerdinger, you need a little bit of time to be able to set up turrets, set up your combo, and that's not it. But he got another 1v1 kill onto the LeBlanc. So, you know.
Okay, that happened.
Heimerdinger is just the best champion.
What? So, as the resident Heimer main, is this supposed to happen? Like, how do you even get a solo kill on LeBlanc? I just feel like that's... What?
That's why they pause. There we go. We figured it out.
I'm pretty sure LeBlanc has, like...
Oh, here we go.
Doesn't she have, like, 2 dashes? Yeah, she still has Mimic up, too.
Oh,
okay, dashes in.
And, that's... Well, that's not how you want to play that fight. I definitely feel like you just start walking upwards, up the river, but we're into a pause, and hey, day 1, you gotta check mark all the experiences for a new caster, right? Throw the pause at them.
Yeah, welcome to the PCS experience. This does happen quite a bit with Alpha Esports, especially. They do have a team that is composed of players from different servers. And the fun thing about PCS, I don't think a lot of people know, is outside of side selection coin flips, we also have server coin flips. So we have to coin flip to see which server you get to play on, because servers that are closer to yourself obviously offer you a ping advantage. Interesting fact. We're probably the only league that does that plays on multiple servers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you see it a little bit in some other games, but doesn't look like the pause is going to be that long, thankfully. I've seen some other pauses that were not kind, but this one, so far, not too bad. As it is a 1k gold lead for Impunity, they're going to look to continue this snowball, starting with this Heimerdinger. I cannot wait to see if we get more solo kills, but for Xiaotu, he really needs that first item.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this one. So far, Alpha Esports' tempo team composition isn't panning out. They haven't been on the first foot, and it's mainly because of that mid lane. We see perfect vision coverage by Impunity here and just constantly shoving the wave. Looks like Alpha Esports are going to change their tactics and try to go for this mid lane. Smurf is trying to face check. Does get tagged by the Winter's Bite. The ultimate does come down. Chains of Corruption. Smurf is going to get stunned up, but he does have the perfect timing to get away from that one. And I hope this isn't a repeat, but we could be seeing Xiaotu potentially dying here. I won't rule it out. I have seriously underestimated Heimerdinger before, and I won't do so again.
Yeah, it is still going to be first tower, and that is all 5 plates going down for this Heimerdinger. And now 3Z
gonna get smited, but is going to use the flash to get away. That's still a pretty big win for Impunity, and they are looking at the second tower they could potentially take down.
Yeah, it does clear out a lot of space to, at the very least, gain a lot of turret plates here. So Top King, he's going to secure himself a massive gold lead, and right now it's just been full on solo lane difference.
In the meantime, we do have a 3v2 collapse coming down. K-Babe taking away the Krug camp. He is in a little bit of danger as Smurf completely unloads on him. Teleport coming down as well. 2 teleports, in fact. And K-Babe could still just die here. Does have to get out at the very end. Top King goes in and gets popped instantly. He was the most fed member on the team. And Alpha Esports are able to reverse their fortunes here. This time around, Moonblack doesn't have the TP to follow in. And Impunity are the ones caught going a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, and a big capitalization there. Being able to get that shutdown is massive, especially with where that gold went. It went onto the LeBlanc. That's going to help her get that first item, and it looks like she wants a little bit more.
Hello, Blaze. Welcome to your daily serving of assassins in the brush.
Or
Shatu, come on.
Shh,
Come on.
shh.
Come on, okay, chain,
Oh.
land. Oh, good dodge by Blaze! I still
Wait.
think he's dead though, but
Yeah.
that was a good attempt.
You know, we got to see him showcase his mechanical skill, but mechanics only get you so far against a LeBlanc and Elise, and not enough jumps there to escape. But at the same time, Moonblack gets himself another turret. So, a whole lot of gold into this Heimerdinger. And
Oh,
what
the
a play!
flash in from On does get the Chains of Corruption onto Smurf, and he looks like he's falling
no.
down, but the Dragon's Rage kicks him into his own tower!
Oh, a bit of a fumble there coming in from Lee Sin. Misses out onto that kill, and they're really going to be kicking themselves on missing out on that opportunity, because Impunity, they've done well to continue that deal with the aggression coming in from Alpha. And again, this composition does scale better. It's just a matter of can they get to that breakpoint.
It does scale better, but I'm just not sure how they actually play the game. I don't think Heimer's going to be able to actually split push past River at this point, so I feel like we're kind of in for a long mid game where there's going to be a lot of shoving, and Impunity probably has to wait to group before they can contest Drakes.
Yeah, but an interesting build actually coming out from Xiaotu, right? Where instead of something like a Luden's Echo to really augment his 1v1 potential against this Heimerdinger, he's actually opted for the Everfrost. So providing more CC and utility for his team, but I really think that it should have been the more aggressive Ludens.
K-Babe? Okay, doesn't manage to get away from that one, and now we see Xiaotu punishing Top King. Top King has to use the Heartseeker to get away. K-Babe might not be as lucky, and Xiaotu fails the W over the wall, has to burn his flash. Okay, that was not pretty, but it worked. We're still okay. We still have Top King chunked, and Alpha Esports are going to move on the Drake.
They're going to be able to at least secure themselves a second Drake, I think. Okay.
That was pretty
All right.
close.
That
Smite
was
didn't even
insane.
come in there.
That was a very, very close, but somehow Alpha, their skirmish potential still a lot higher, right? If you find Impunity split up, not fully grouped up, they can definitely win a lot of these fights just because they have a lot more upfront burst. But Moonblack, perfect situation. Oh my!
That was great. I love the kill steal from Epic just to make sure that the stun lock was fully there. Honestly, 3Z would have died regardless, but you know, you gotta make sure.
That was disturbing.
That was only Heimer things, man. I don't understand where the damage came from there.
Yeah. Moonblack just playing this pick to perfection, knowing really his damage numbers. Now this might be over aggression.
Gets kicked back into the enemy team composition, but Top King is also here. Heartseeker Strike not able to actually take down K-Babe, and K-Babe survives to tell the tale. Smurf now on the back end, has to flash out himself, dodges out on all the abilities, and Blaze shoots a big fat 0 into the void. Now, oh, never mind, K-Babe actually takes it in the face.
Okay, babe.
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Once or more and just eats the full combo. And up here, we still have them taking that 1v1. I don't think the turret's enough to finish off that tower, unfortunately. And yeah, so won't be able to get that bonus gold for himself. And just a reminder for folks, side lane tier 2 towers did get buffed as far as gold goes. So if you're able to get that tower, you get an extra 250, which is a whole lot extra money. It really incentivizes the 1-3-1.
True. We have seen Riot try to make the game less about constant Drake fights and try to incentivize other styles of play. Hullbreaker is another one that's coming up, and we haven't seen it just yet, but I do think that it's going to be viable in a lot of solo queue scenarios. In the meantime, I'm just taking a look at Moonblack, and his damage is really off the charts. The penetration he has right now is pretty disgusting, as he does have the Void Staff completed already, so Impunity sitting on a massive damage edge. It just seems like K-Babe, once again, able to get a pick on flashes into his death for not a lot of gain. 3Z trying to find the backline, is finally going to kill Moonblack, but that was very little damage dealt for a lot of summoners. Impunity, I think they're pretty happy to sacrifice their mid laner for that mid lane position.
Yeah, and they can just keep looking for the fight as well, because Blaze is still full HP. Everyone on their squad is pretty much full HP. And that means, well, they get their picking as far as what they want to do on the map. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they want much. So they're just going to go ahead, reset. They get a Krug camp, I guess, is really the max what they get out of that, which seems a little bit lackluster, but all signs are on this next dragon to be the explosive team fight, as we could end up seeing a Baron really come off of that.
So we do have a lot of flashes being traded away on Impunity side. Once again, we're going to take a look at this team fight. Oh, that was actually pretty clever from K-Babe, using the tower for a Legolas move. I'm not sure about that one. On, are you okay, On?
Yeah, someone definitely needs to check in on there. He definitely did not look like he had a good time. His flash definitely a blunder, and now 14-10. Gold lead is rather minor. 2,000 gold is not too much to write home about, but where this gold is definitely a bit of a concern. As Moonblack, he is insanely strong, and now that they have position and posture over this dragon pit, it becomes really hard to get back into it, because Heimerdinger just has so much terrain control.
So it feels like Impunity should be winning pretty hard, but the thing is, their comp doesn't actually have that much engage. They're actually trying to play counter engage most of the time, so Alpha Esports gets to pick the spots. They get to play around and try to cut off Impunity. And here we go, Xiaotu going in. This is the Everfrost. 3Z, K-Babe is left completely alone. Just gets evaporated. And that should be an easy Drake going over the wave for Impunity. Smurf does find the Zenith Blade, goes in. We see the take back here by 3Z. Great set of abilities, but isn't enough to actually finish off any targets. And Impunity walk away once more with the 2-kill lead, plus the Drake.
Yeah, and Impunity, they're just winning the fights. They're winning the positioning, and because of it, Alpha, they're getting really, really desperate when it comes to their positioning. As you saw right there, Lee Sin going for the absolute hero flank. And as they say, it's zero or hero, and that was definitely a zero.
Yeah, a bit overambitious from K-Babe. He walks into a brush with double wards coming in from Impunity, gets bursted immediately, and thought that 3Z might have been able to get something going right here, but the W damage isn't really enough. Haymaker not going to be punching through Blaze just yet, and Impunity roll on. They now have a firm control over the Baron part of the map as well, and I think they can just run it back what they did on the Drake. They have a very good team composition when they have positional advantages.
Yeah, and whenever you do have a Heimerdinger as well, you have pretty good control over objectives. You can even go for cheese plays,
that's not the brush. That is not the brush where you want to be, and that should mean Impunity just start Baron. They also get something out of Xiaotu. They get the Banshees. I think the Lee Sin was actually trying to bait the enemy team, but yeah, the enemy team baited him instead.
That was definitely an unfortunate series of events there for our Lee Sin, and I feel like that's been the entire game for our Lee Sin, right? He's had that one extremely hit or miss flank in that last dragon fight. He has that play there, and Moonblack showing the value of this Heimerdinger. If they face check you, they will die.
Oh, Xiaotu trying to aim for Moonblack. Let's get him super low. 3Z brings it back into the conversation. Gets a 3-man showstopper. Can they flip the teamfight around? But Top King going in with double Heartseeker isn't able to finish off on. Triple kill going over to the Varus, and Xiaotu looking for more. It's going to back off in the end, but that just means that only 2 Baron buffs survive on Impunity.
As we get to see the replay of the fight, I mean, it really wasn't much of a fight there because of how much damage they were getting from this Baron contributing. And the poke comes through, they get really nice poke damage, and what an engage coming in from 3Z, gets a huge phase breaker, and I mean, the Haymaker as well does get a lot of pressure thrown down into the fight. That forces a lot of flashes to get out of that situation, and they are able to get 3 kills back and take away a lot of these Baron buffs.
This game has just been a pleasure to watch in cast. Honestly, this game is one of the wilder ones that we've seen. It feels like Impunity should just be running away with how far Moonblack is, but this comp is very difficult to execute. Like, you have to play around objectives 24/7, you have to watch all angles, and once again, we're going to have a teleport flank onto Moonblack. Can he survive the 1v3? He is going to have help coming in from Top King. Can they get him in time? 3Z doesn't even touch Moonblack before he's almost about to drop. He does go down, and now K-Babe will follow. The pincer turns into disaster. Xiaotu, the only one left alive, and he has to run away as fast as possible from the Blade of the Ruin King. And Xiaotu finally does make the distortion over the wall this time and saves his life. But that should be an extra tower. Xiaotu still not out of the thick of things just yet. And Moonblack continues on with his push.
Moonblack is just an absolute terror. And one of the big things about League of Legends is you don't want to just walk into a Heimerdinger when he has his turrets down. He throws down the ult turret, and that really is just the end of the play. And you can't just kill him like that.
We have the engage right here. Epic, 1 stack away from being stunned. Smurf is under. Oh, well. Looks like we're going to have to wait a little while for that team fight to be resolved right there. But a very tense moment as we see Smurf on the cusp of going down and perhaps buying a little bit more time for the roster of Alpha Esports.
Yeah, it's a bit of a suboptimal time to throw in a pause, but of course, if I would assume probably something like an internet issue, as kind of how things end up being when it is in a bit of an online environment. But I mean, let's just talk about Moonblack on this Heimerdinger. He pulls out the pocket pick. We've seen back-to-back pocket picks really succeed. And I mean, I guess now mid laners all around the world, they're going to have to learn Heimerdinger.
I'm not sure if that's good news or bad news for my League of Legends career, but it's really interesting. I don't think that Xiaotu has played against many Heimerdingers. Like, who are the Heimerdingers we actually know? Like, there's probably Saros, and that's it. Like, I don't even think I know any Heimerdinger mains that have made it to
it's
Worlds.
Saros and Moonblack. That's really the only 2 players. There's I know definitely played it in NA, but that was bot lane. So when it comes to mid lane Heimerdingers, it's almost impossible to get scrim experience against.
Yeah, and we could see that Xiaotu definitely overplayed his hands in trades the early 2 times. The distortions back and forth in a straight line were probably not the answer, and he got solo killed, I believe, twice for it. So Moonblack coming out to a huge win, and I'm really interested to see how they're actually going to close out this game. It seems like they're going to go for a siege poke composition, but at the same time, it is rather difficult for them to aggregate all of their champions in the same location. Very easy to get picked off against what Alpha Esports has right here. Xiaotu is kind of lucky he doesn't get sniped by the Mountain Drake there. And Top King looks like he's going to continue his chase into the Drake pit, preferably just going to take the objective.
Yeah, now for Impunity here. Again, they've got great siege, they have great objective control here. They're going to look to try and secure this dragon, get themselves onto soul point, and see what they can do after. But can we get another 1v1 solo kill?
Oh, Breezy is going to get the Haymaker in time. Shield saves his life. And this play from Moonblack is just so interesting to watch. He's willing to play Death Rush by himself as a mage. And that is something you definitely do not expect from most mid lane players. Impunity has easy access to this Mountain Drake. Going to take this one down, send them over to Soul Point. In the meantime, Alpha Esports is eyeing this Baron. They do have a firm control over the top side of the map. And Impunity's composition is not great at walking in on territory themselves. So this could be a very interesting developing play, forcing you to face check into a composition that has so much burst.
Yeah. But the issue is the fact that Baron is still 2 minutes away. So they have no reason to really aggress into this pocket of vision at this point in time. So they're going to have a lot more time to figure out how they want to approach this section of the map. And Blaze, he is definitely on line as well.
Going in, Chains holding it down. Sees Top King coming over the side and decides to just blink right on out of there. But we can see that the damage, even though he is going for the Everfrost build, it's definitely still there. He can still pack a punch here. Blaze goes down to half HP, and we have a flash engage. Goodbye, Xiaotu. Welcome to the PCS.
That was definitely a lot of hubris coming in from the young gun, as he just sits there and dares them to make the move. And they took the dare.
Think it's a Mimic. I don't think he was even low enough. I'm not sure if the Mimic was actually popped right there, but we do see this the explosive cast come out. Doesn't really get the alley-oop needed. K-Babe comes in from the side, and Moonblack is underneath someone else's tower, but he does flash out in time. K-Babe looks like he's gonna drop, and Smurf still has stasis to keep himself alive. Really well played re-engage from Impunity. Finds himself the inhibitor tower and moving on to the inhibitor as well.
They're going to be able to find that inhib, and now they also are going to be able to pull back and peel
TP
towards that
from
Baron.
Xiaotu. He knows that Moonblack doesn't have any abilities left, but he doesn't have the damage to finish things up, and Moonblack finds the kill with the turret.
Xiaotu, he's really trying. I respect the hustle, man, but at this point in the game, you can't just rush in head on 1v5. It just doesn't work that way. Even as a LeBlanc, you don't have enough distortion to secure your own safety. And Impunity, they're out to an 8,000 gold lead. As you can see, the gold difference in the past couple minutes has just skyrocketed since 20 minutes.
Only dip we see so far was that play where Epic kind of just walked into his own Raptors and died, but outside of that skirmish, doesn't feel like Alpha Esports has ever found the team fights that they want to look for. They definitely want to have numbers advantage, they definitely want to have those kind of pincer movements where they can utilize their burst to get those early first kills down, but so far Impunity has been doing a great job sticking together. They always have someone shadowing their members, so we don't really see those pickoffs that Xiaotu has been fishing for this entire time. And now we go into round 4 of objective fighting, where Impunity should be really, really strong, where they should be able to set up tons of towers. And Moonblack is actually playing keep away by himself on top of the Baron pit. Very interesting maneuver here.
Oh my
Jen
lord.
is almost dead. He is dead, in fact. And that was a bunch of damage no one expected. We do have the Heartseeker strike coming out as well. That's 2 down for Alpha Esports. And the scary thing is they didn't even have enough time to react to throw out their ultimates. 3Z and Shung both dead before ulting. And then K-Babe tries to find an angle into the pit by himself, but he doesn't have the flash, and the Baron's going to go over to the enemy team. He's going to resurrect to no avail. Just drop instantly to Blaze. And this is a massive cleanup by Impunity.
And what a massacre coming in from Impunity as they're going to try and get a little bit more. Unfortunately, Xiaotu a little bit too slippery there, but it all starts from Moonblack taking the 1v2, gets both of those kills as well, and now they're looking to end the game.
On is stuck in a very hairy situation. 3Z gets the pull, but not the stun. Charges forward instead and instantly just drops. They don't even get Top King with that play. Impunity walk out unscathed.
They walk out with all their lives intact, and Alpha, they are left reeling, trying to figure out what that next play is. They can't manage to kill this Heimerdinger, and they can't do that. The Heimerdinger ult cooldown at this point in the game is just so low. Pretty much has it whenever he wants, as you saw right there. He ulted for that Baron, and then immediately for that push top lane, had the ult up again, and his play has been absolutely immaculate. They're going to be able to get Mountain Soul on top of it, and that pretty much signals it's all but over. This is pretty much a formality, as now you have to deal with the extra resistances to try and burst this Heimerdinger.
I don't see how Alpha Esports can survive the push. Just like you said, the gold lead, the items. Alpha Esports is definitely a team that needs to flank. They need to get the first pick in these teamfight situations, and they just haven't been able to do it. Really diligent scanning by Smurf as well, making sure that there's no wards on the flanks. However, K-Babe is coming in from the back. He's taking the long scenic route. He might lose a couple inhibitors for this, but he's going to find the hero play regardless. Can K-Babe make this work? Xiaotu is going to actually get stunned up himself, and we do see On in the back line just getting evaporated right there. Heartseeker strike for 2, and K-Babe finally makes his way in.
Hi guys.
He gets a Heimer tower, and that's it. That's all he gets.
He says hello at the back end, and well, he's on a bit of a journey. He's going to try and preserve his KDA, but it does look like Impunity will get themselves on the board. They go up to 1-0, and Alpha, well, better luck next game.
Great performance coming in from Moonblack. We had a lot of questions about how Moonblack would perform. He didn't really seem like he fit the meta at all. Like, this guy plays champions that are extremely control mage-ish. And he also has, like, maybe the Silas is what we expected out of him, but he's sticking to his guns. He brought his main on his debut, and this is something I love about Impunity and their coaching staff, is that they do allow their players to kind of run wild with crazy drafts. There is some there is some reason behind the madness right here. They played a really nice Siege Poke composition and rode it out to a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, really well done coming in from Moonblack on this entire game. No doubt, in my mind, he gets MVP just because of, I think he got 3 solo kills in the mid lane. The amount of solo kills he got in that game was actually kind of absurd. I don't know what the record is when it comes to solo kills, but when it comes to early game solo kills, you don't expect the Heimerdinger to be on that chart.
Yeah, I don't think Xiaotu saw that coming whatsoever, and I was a bit of a disaster here. It's been such a weird day because we actually haven't seen the tempo team comps work at all. Like, maybe the only team that knew how to play the tempo team comps correctly, I think, was PSG. But everyone else has kind of faltered, and we see the strong picks of the meta not really hit their stride. Instead, it's been 1-3-1. It's been the more creative pokes. A lot slower game pace than I anticipated coming into this patch, for sure.
Yeah, it's less so about playing towards meta. And I mean, if you're able to succeed with meta, that's definitely PSG, right? But it looks like for the rest of these teams, it's about playing for comfort. And we saw in back-to-back games, comfort really paid off, especially for these mid laners.
Yeah, we're seeing back-to-back victories from Heimerdinger and Vladimir. I don't understand it. I really don't. I'm like, well, okay, this PCS, man. Let's go. This is where your dreams come true. This is the league you come to watch the impossible, the amazing. This is what we deliver day in and day out. So congratulations on the sweet victory right there. Impunity, one of the biggest roster changes, one of the biggest offseason movers this time around, and they do find success straight off the bat. That was something that I honestly didn't expect, and it looks like they will be in position to perhaps overtake Boom Esports this time around. I think their roster looks incredibly strong at this point, and I've always seen them as having a bit of the coaching edge as well. So I wonder if that is going to be their goal. Boom Esports has been the premier team outside of the non-former LMS regions to secure 5th place. They were the best region. They were the best team to do so. But Impunity might be, throwing one up for Southeast Asia these days. They might be trying to represent the region instead.
Yeah, Impunity definitely knocking on the door to really contest for some of those upper echelon, the top half of the teams. I think they're a lot more well-rounded as a team in comparison to Boom, who are definitely a lot more of a hands-focused squad. But as we see the damage charts, I think we know who's MVP.
I'm just doing the calculations, but I'm pretty sure he did more damage than the entire top side. Yeah, he definitely did more damage than the entire top side. So if you take On out of the equation, basically you trade 4 for 1 against Impunity. That's absolutely disgusting. Well done by Moonblack. Huge mid lane gap. You can see the goal difference as well. Very smooth sailing from them from start to finish. Impunity looks like they are about to make a splash.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this roster, knowing that Moonblack is a Heimerdinger main. I didn't know how well it would fit into the meta. I personally didn't really think it would fit well, but there we go. The MVP goes to him. He had 76% kill participation, and the amount of solo kills, I wish there was a solo kill stat because he did so much work.
Oh my god, that's the devil's gold lead right there. 6,600 extra gold over the mid lane. What the hell is that? That's 2.5 items already. Completed items. You could buy... That's almost close to 2 death cap territory. It's absolutely disgusting from Moonblack. I am super excited from the Singaporean squad. I think they're going to be heading on to great things here. But we do have to put that victorious game in the past, and we're going to be looking at the closer for today. It's going to be J-Team versus Machi X, the Revenge of Gemini versus his former teammate Mission right after this break.